Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Fixed on Jesus podcast. My name is Rich, and it is my privilege to host a podcast for the people of CenterChurch at the building of CenterChurch here in Gilbert, Arizona. And across from me is Mark Johnson Jr.
Hello, Rich.
How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm all right. And behind the glass, we have Heather Corbett.
She is not mic'd up this time, but she's making noises,
she's not,
raving.
But she's moving around, moving around like one of those sock puppet things on the corners of the street, that has air blowing through it.
I love those things.
Around. Yeah. What are those called?
Good question. I don't think anyone knows.
Okay. Well, we're joined with some august company here with our friend, Dale Furnish. Dale, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm delighted to be here. A little intimidated by what this may entail, but
I think it just entails answering questions, which you'll be adept at.
okay.
Yeah.
Given that you're a trained lawyer, and you've trained how many lawyers?
Oof, beyond count.
Right. So I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, you can handle the heat.
Yeah.
We're going to give you softballs, so don't worry.
Yeah. But we do appreciate you being here. And one of the things we love about doing the podcast together is we are able to take people from our church and interview them, and have an unhurried time to be able just to hear the story of God's grace and how He just interrupts all of our lives and changes them and turns them upside down.
Amen.
Amen.
So, and we'll do maybe a background on who you are and where you came from and everything. But right now, you're married to Luella,
Yes.
a delightful woman, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
The better half.
The much better half. And how long have y'all been married?
We've been married since April 13th, 2012.
2012. So coming up on 14 years.
That's right.
All right. Now, she's very healthy in what she eats, right?
Yes.
And when you eat out, do you what is
I'm putting them on blast right away.
You're going right for the jugular.
she may, I don't know. I'm just asking, is there anything you'll eat while she's not there that you wouldn't necessarily eat at home?
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I call my wife a nutritional terrorist.
Yeah.
That it consists
But with
mostly-
love in your heart.
with love in my heart. But she does say, "You're not going to eat that, are you?"
Yeah.
And
What are some big culprits in the terrorist campaign?
well, cookies. I like
yeah.
cookies.
Yeah. Like any kind?
Anytime when
Any kind of cookie?
I have settled on a cookie called Nairn from Scotland.
Nairn. Well, that's some highbrow cookie. What is that?
It's a gluten-free sort of biscuit from Scotland.
Do you ship them over?
You can get them on Amazon.
Okay. I was going to be concerned if it was like oatmeal raisin. Because
Oh,
you put raisins in cookies and it's a problem. Feels like a holdover from the Great Depression.
that's right. And I love them.
You do? Okay.
I do. Oatmeal raisins.
All right,
And we live, this is more than you want to know, but we live in a place,
Yeah.
a continuing care retirement community.
Okay.
And one of the things that they do is they have a great pastry chef,
Okay.
just
Which you don't get to use.
who I basically don't get to use. That's correct.
Well, Luella, just so you know, there are no cookies here.
Yeah.
We have none, and we definitely don't have any Nairn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's a Wikipedia page on that, but if it's on Amazon, there probably is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell where you're from. You're not originally from Arizona, are you?
No, I am, like many Arizonans, I was born in Iowa, specifically in Iowa City, Iowa.
Okay.
And that's, I've got a lot of family around there.
Still.
Well, not so much anymore because they were farmers
Okay.
in my generation, and my generation of farmers in Iowa said, we're not going to do this anymore.
So your father's generation, they were farmers.
They were farmers. My father was not a farmer, but still a lot of the generation.
Okay.
farmers.
What kind of stuff did they farm? What did your family farm?
Basic Iowa family farm. They milked cows. They had hogs and usually poultry, raised corn, soybeans, alfalfa, and then just ran the family farm. Milked probably a couple dozen head of cows in the morning every day, and then standard raised crops and sold them.
But you weren't the son of a farmer.
I was not the son of a farmer. My dad got out early, more than you want to know maybe, but My grandfather was a small-town general practitioner doctor.
Okay.
And he did that by running away from his family when he was 12. So
Okay.
the family story goes, and they told him to quit school. He was going to work on the farm.
But he said, I don't want to do that.
He didn't want to do that. He ran away. He went to medical school and then settled in Tipton, Iowa.
Where was he from?
Shelbina, Missouri,
Okay.
which is down there in the Civil War. It's hard to tell whether it was southern or northern.
Well, I think there were a lot of problems back and forth back then.
There were.
Right around there.
There
Kentucky, or Kansas and Missouri. We talked, actually, it's funny you should talk to Godfrey because his family's all from Kansas. And his ancestors were like all right in the mix of that bleeding Kansas time.
Okay.
So, but yours left Missouri and came to Iowa as a doctor.
My grandfather ran away from Missouri and came to Iowa. He went to, it's not the medical school, it's the something school in St. Louis.
Okay.
He's a D.O., not an M.D.
Okay.
And
Orthopedic doctor? Or I'm guessing. I don't know what I'm talking about.
orthopedics is feet, I think.
Okay.
Or
It's like
no, it's bone. It's bone surgery, orthopods. No, it's a different kind of doctor degree.
Gotcha.
Because there are medical doctors, and then there are these
DOs.
and I'm not sure the difference.
And so does he settle in Iowa City?
He settled in Tipton, Iowa, which is the county seat of Cedar County, Iowa. And my dad grew up there, hunting, fishing, really small town. And then he got interested in geology and went to the University of Iowa.
Okay.
Majored in geology. Our family, like a lot, was affected by World War II.
Sure.
Because Dad had gotten a PhD in geology. He took a position teaching at Oklahoma State, Stillwater, and World War II came along.
Okay, so he gets the job before
He gets the job before
Pearl Harbor?
Before Pearl Harbor. And then after Pearl Harbor, somebody somewhere in the system said, wait a minute, you're a PhD in geology and you've got 2 kids. You're not going to go to war. You're going to find oil.
Oh.
And so that set us off on the next 10, 12 years of our life. We spent 4 years in Texas, where Dad was looking for oil, wildcatting. And then he continued from there to Venezuela again.
Ooh, okay.
Working for oil companies. And then from Venezuela to Saudi Arabia. And then when I was the oldest of 5 children.
Okay.
And when it came time in Saudi Arabia, the school, they really had an excellent school. Aramco provided schooling, but only through 8th grade. And so when I was winding up 8th grade, the options were you go home, live with your aunt and uncle or your grandparents, or you go away to a boarding school. And my folks, I guess, talked about it and said, we don't want to break up the family.
Sure.
And so if I understand this, and this is family history that I can't verify, but my dad had a open offer at the University of Iowa to come back and join the geology faculty.
Okay.
And so that was basically going home. Iowa City was 30 miles from Tipton,
Okay.
where he had grown up, and about 20 miles from Kelowna, where my mother had grown up.
Oh, okay.
So we went home.
You went back from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Not very many people, I would imagine, in the post-war and post-war era, Americans have lived abroad like that at the time, correct?
That's correct. And I mean, usually when I tell somebody, they say, oh, you were military. And if I say no, they say, petroleum. Yeah,
That's the life of...
petroleum or military. That would be.
Was your dad good at finding oil?
I have to say he was great at it.
Okay.
To the extent that he really discovered a lot of the oil in Venezuela and then a lot of the oil in Saudi Arabia. And that was part of it. He did not like desk jobs. He liked
Being out in the field.
being out in the field finding the oil.
Well, I guess if he's a geologist, or he was a
Yeah.
geologist, he's outside
Yeah,
with the soil and everything.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So
And so you come back to Iowa City for high school.
for high school, Yeah.
Okay. And all the other kids are in tow. The whole family's together.
right. And so we really are. We're Iowans basically. Even I am. I'm really.
You're from Iowa.
Yeah.
You're in
I'm
Iowa.
from Iowa.
Okay. And what were high school years like?
High school years were just great. We went to a university high school in Iowa City, so it's a small school. A lot of faculty brats, I think, as I remember, because we were a smaller high school. We played in an athletic conference with smaller high schools from around there, and
So by faculty brats, you mean a lot of the University of Iowa folks.
sent their children to
Is
university.
it University of Iowa?
Yeah.
The Hawkeyes.
Good man.
All right,
As
so
long as you don't confuse us with the Cyclones of Iowa.
Oh, that's Des Moines.
That's Ames. Those
Ames.
those
Okay.
guys are
Okay. So anyway, and they have horrible colors. Have you seen their colors?
Yeah.
They're like orange and yellow and
Yeah.
weird. Anyway, so the brats. There's a bunch of profs kids that are at this high school.
Yeah. My recollections actually were they were all there. It was good kids. It was a great place to grow up. But the reason I say faculty brats is because when we played basketball, we played in small gyms where the stands came right down to the court.
Yeah.
And you could hear the locals, a bunch of faculty brats, you city kids. And
The age-old town and gown challenge, right?
yeah.
Now you played basketball in high school and college, right?
Baseball in college.
Baseball in college. Okay.
Basketball and football in high school.
And then you made the switch to baseball in college?
Well, University High School was so small it didn't have a baseball team.
Okay.
But there were summer programs, and I played in the summer programs and then carried over to college.
Okay. And where did you go to college?
Small college called Grinnell College, smack in the middle of Iowa almost. Small town, small college, about 1,000, 1,200 students. Great place.
Now, one time, I don't know where we were, and probably somewhere on the border, you made an appointment to meet with somebody to recruit for Grinnell, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Is that something you did often?
Not often. I mean, I wasn't a full-time recruiter, but yeah, I guess I would say I was more open to talking to people if they were interested in Grinnell
About the experience of
about the experience. And, yeah.
And what did you study while you were there?
Studied history,
Okay.
but it was a liberal arts college. I think they're just those colleges are dotted all over the Midwest,
Yeah.
and they're not. Arizona doesn't have any of them.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Small liberal arts. And so you just got to about your junior year, as I recall it, some professor sat me down and said, you have to pick a major. And so
Yeah.
I looked at who there were, and I had 2 or 3 history teachers I really liked.
Yeah.
So I said, okay,
Yeah.
major in history.
Any particular time frame?
American history.
And what time frame? Well,
All
Civil
250 years.
Civil War beyond or before?
Well, in general, but I really liked the Civil War. That was a thing that
Yeah. Favorite Civil War author?
officer,
Author, sorry.
probably Doris Kearns Goodwin,
Yeah.
Team of Rivals.
Great book,
About
yeah.
Lincoln.
Have you read that, Mark?
No, that's probably a good one to put
It's a
on
good
the
one to
list.
good. It's a really good one. That's a great book. Team of Rivals.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't read that, who's listening,
They should, everybody.
they should read it. It's outstanding. Give like a 30-second synopsis on Team of Rivals.
Well, the basic idea is, I think Lincoln, he fought battles against Seward and other politicians and who, quote, hated him. And then he wound up including them in his government, in his cabinet. And so when he sat around the table, he clearly didn't have everybody in agreement with him, and he's famous for the one where everybody was against him, and he said, the ayes have it. he raised his hand.
Yeah.
And he said,
Salmon P. Chase was the one who hated him.
Salmon P. Chase, but he served you know your history. Yeah, he served in the government, and they're just Lincoln is.
He was remarkable.
Remarkable, I'd say, godly man. He studied the Bible every morning, and he had mercy and forgiveness and understanding for the people he dealt with, grace. I remember once he was trying to talk to one of his generals. Mm-hmm. The general didn't want to talk to him. And so Lincoln just went over apparently and sat in the sitting room
He just waited all day.
Waited all day.
Yeah. That was, who was the first one, the first Union general? That was not McClellan. Was it McClellan?
I'll begin to forget.
It was McClellan, I think.
I'll begin to forget.
Because he was a big personality. Yeah. Now, we won't talk about this because no one cares about this maybe but you and me.
If there's anyone left listening, we can.
But I would love to, it would be interesting. It would have been fascinating to see what Reconstruction would have looked like if Lincoln doesn't die at the hand of John Wilkes Booth. I think that would have been a game changer and shifted our U.S. history in a certain direction.
It did.
But that's not history. That's make-believe.
That's right. That's what ifs.
What ifs. So go.
So I don't want to get too far ahead, but thinking back to your dad and your grandfather, would you say that they were men of faith?
I wish I could sit down with my grandfather now and ask it. They were certainly churchgoers.
Okay.
Everybody was.
Everybody was. Okay. In a small town. And I think my grandfather in a small town, I think and they went to, I'm going to say a Methodist church.
Very popular in the Midwest.
I think that's right. And I think he was on the board of deacons or whatever the governing board was. My dad also went to church, and later in his life in particular, we were raised in a Presbyterian church, which, as I look back, it's one of those churches. I'm not sure the Holy Spirit was in that church.
Yeah.
Good people doing good things.
Yeah. Social conscience.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so for some of our listeners that aren't familiar with the cultural of that time where pretty much everyone went to church, whether they believed or not, that was the social norm, where now it's quite the opposite. Church is almost viewed as something you don't do anymore and only a select few, whereas maybe when you were growing up, whether you believed or not, for the sake of social fabric.
Well, I went for the girls.
There you go.
There's a lot of stories that start like that.
That's true.
All the high school girls.
Yeah, a lot of stories. How did you become a Christian? Well, there was this girl.
Yeah.
She gave me a Johnny Mac Bible.
Yeah, right. Anyway, but in small town America, everybody went to church. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And before we leave my father, one of the things I'd say is, as he lived, and he lived to 97, he really became more active in church. Okay. I mean, he sang in a church choir, participated in church. And later on in his life, at one point, I was concerned about his spiritual state. And I wrote him a very sincere letter saying, I'm wondering if you are truly saved, if you know salvation.
Yeah.
And bless his heart, I had one of the best phone conversations.
Praise God.
I never had any doubt about my mom, but my dad called me back. And it was totally reassuring.
That's so great. Wow. What a blessing to be able to look back on that like that.
Yeah.
And not wonder.
Yeah, and the Lord used your faithfulness.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't easy to write that letter,
I started it about three or four times.
I bet.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Sometimes this happens. You look back and you think about life like that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're back in Grinnell, and
The family.
yeah, you've got you're pressing forward with your bachelor's, right? Now here's a spoiler. I know you're a lawyer, a retired lawyer now. So you went to law school somewhere.
I did, University of Iowa. Went
Okay,
home.
so you just went and stayed in
Yeah,
you stayed in the state.
yeah. You know, I don't know if others will identify with this, but it's not scripture, it's Shakespeare, but there's a divinity that shapes our ends,
Yeah.
few them how we may.
Right.
And I just think, as it turns out, I did an honors project at Grinnell with a mentor, a history professor, whose wife, unbeknownst to me at the time, was the sister of the dean of the Iowa Law School.
Oh, wow.
And so I mean, I could have gone to other schools, but they set up a scholarship specifically for a Grinnell graduate that would go.
Really?
Yeah.
And you received it?
And I got it. So I went down the road to Iowa. It was a great time. I lived at home.
Oh, you could commute.
Oh, I could walk. I mean, it was.
Oh.
My folks were in Iowa City, and the law school was 6 blocks away.
Oh, my. What year was that you started?
62. No, yeah, 62. 1962. I graduated from Grinnell.
Okay.
And it was a great time because the family was together. I've got 4 brothers and sisters, and they were all in the house in Iowa City. The last year that was true. So a great year and a great place to be, and a great place to start law school. And I really enjoyed the study of law. I guess I took to it. Again, my plan at the time, I guess we were not formally engaged. We were pinned was the term. And so I had a girlfriend who was a year behind me in Grinnell. She was from a small town in Illinois. And I think our plan was I'd go to the Iowa Law School. We'd find a small county seat town in Iowa.
Yeah.
Where it's a great place to set up and practice law. And she was interested in teaching school, so we could find a county seat town in Iowa, practice law, and
She teaches. That's very much like Lincoln did without the wife in Springfield, Illinois, as you know.
That's right. That's right. But of course, you get off the path.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
You went off the path, didn't you?
I did.
Because that didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
What happened?
Well, what happened was I really enjoyed studying law, maybe more than I thought I would, and took to it enough. I did well enough in law school that at that time the Iowa Law School had a program in Peru for the U.S. Agency for International Development. And I was recruited for that program to go there as a member of the faculty for 2 years.
To Peru.
To Peru. And that was just, well, again, it was formative. That's the destiny, the divinity that shapes our ends. Because here's this kid who wants to find a small Iowa town and start a practice. And so coming out of law school, I did well enough. They gave me a clerkship for a federal judge for a year. Then they sent me to Peru. And Peru was just, I loved it. The good thing was we worked for the Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay.
And I still tell people I know Peru better than any country because with the Ministry of Agriculture, I was in a legal office, and they were doing stuff. I mean, it's the Ministry of Agriculture, so it's around. The lawyers, they don't want to go out in the country. And they also had regular things that they had to do and so forth. And so when stuff would come, they'd say, you can drive two days into the mountains and then take a canoe down the river for a day. They'd say, take the gringo. He loves it.
And you're high elevation, yes?
Yeah, there was high elevation. Well, we were in Lima. Okay. Lima was on the coast. But, yeah, you got up into
You go up quick off the coast, right?
That's right, into the Andes.
Andes, right there, yeah.
And we got down into the Amazon. No, I loved it. I found was such an exciting thing. We were doing things. And then the other good aspect of it was to be exposed to another legal system
Yes.
in Peru. And it was, I don't know if you have these kinds of experiences, anything you've done, but here I'm trained out of law school, and I think I know things pretty well. And I keep running into things that the Peruvian lawyers would say, well, you do it this way. And I'd say, no, that's not the way you do it.
But you do it there. That way.
But you do it there.
Yeah.
So
Now, did you speak Spanish before you got there?
I knew I was going. I'd lived in Venezuela for 4 years, so I had some exposure to Spanish. And then, again, I don't know how much of this you want. My parents, for reasons unbeknownst to me, when we had to take a language in high school, said you can take any language but Spanish. So I took French, and then I took French at Grinnell. And I can remember walking out of the classroom on the last day of my 2 years of French saying, never do that again.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to Peru, so I had a couple of years to polish up on Spanish. And then the other good thing I had was I was in an office with a bunch of Peruvian lawyers who spoke Spanish. So
And English, I suppose? No English. Okay.
no English. We had a bilingual secretary, but boy, if I was reading something or writing something or speaking something, it needed to be in Spanish.
Wow.
So
That's next level. Dude.
Yeah.
That's next level. You're writing legal briefs
Very particular.
in Spanish.
Yeah.
but I had, the secretary's name was Aide, and I remember her very well, very smart woman, and she would tell me, that's wrong. They don't say it that way. And she
Fix it.
She would fix it, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so and you've kept up your Spanish, obviously,
Yeah,
and you have a heart for all Latino peoples.
truly, yeah.
And I think the way I met you and got to know you was our church would take trips down to, still does, to the border on the other side of La Frontera there in El Paso to a little orphanage. And how many times do you think you've been my translator?
Quite a few.
10.
Yeah,
12,
maybe so.
I don't know.
Something like, yeah.
I'd lead Bible studies and Dale would translate.
That's really cool.
Yeah, now Rich doesn't need a translator.
That's not quite true. That's not quite true.
But that Rancho 3M really opened my heart, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten down there much recently, but for a while there,
It was a regular thing, wasn't it?
yes, it was.
Yeah, it was fun. We've made lots of good memories. Would you recommend anybody from our church go?
Totally, absolutely.
Why?
It'll open your heart. You'll if you think you know how the world works, you'll see how the world works on that side of the border, and
Es diferente, sí?
es diferente, and you'll see God's providence acting in young children who really need the Lord and need the orphanage, and how it works. I mean, that place is blessed. I think it's still true, because they're in a little city there, which was controlled by the cartel.
Yeah.
Is it still?
No, it's peaceful, but it was like ground zero for a lot of the fighting.
Yeah, and they had they're just things like the guy who welded the fence around the enclosure was killed
Right.
by the cartel, and we were pointed. They said, that little house over there, they killed the father
Yeah.
just on the other side of the fence, but nothing ever touched the rancho.
Yeah, I remember being down there because when Dale and I would go down there, we were not the blue collar help, right? So we could demo stuff, we could paint stuff, and we could do Bible studies, pretty much. And one of the days they said, "Why don't you go get us drinks at the go down to the convenience store and get Coca-Colas or whatever." And we're like, "Okay." I think so. Dale and I go down there, and We'd go down there, we'd get everything we need to come back. And they said, did you see that stain in front of the... Do you remember this?
Yes.
You see that stain in front of the store? And we're like, yeah, actually, we noticed that. Somebody died there last week, and that's their blood.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, okay, well, thanks for sending us. And so those kinds of adventures Dale and I would go to. We've been to the dump before down there where the dogs follow. You don't wear sunglasses and you don't point your phone at people. So anyway.
Yeah.
You just asked if the church members should go down there.
No, this was 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was 15, maybe 20.
We
years ago.
had. I still remember a weekend when I think the U.S. had given the Mexican military some of these helicopters, these Hueys, armed helicopters, and we saw all weekend
Apaches.
Yeah, Apaches. That's what and all weekend they had the Apaches were in the air shooting at people on the ground.
Well, that doesn't happen anymore. For me.
we had some people signed up, and then I just noticed they withdrew.
It does not happen anymore. I am not afraid. I walk the streets. Dale walks the street. We've walked the streets.
We
It's
have.
fine.
Well, it sounds like you would be building something, but you couldn't, so you were just walking the streets instead. Like that was better.
No, we were gophers, is what we were.
Yeah.
We'd go to Home Depot on the other side. Anyway,
We have to mention the name, for example, of Ken Stout.
Yeah.
Now he is a hero,
he is.
and he does.
He's a magician with wood, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah. We have been his, like, you hold that there, okay. And Ken would do it. He'd fix everything. All right, so do you learn Spanish? I think what we'll do here is we'll take a break. And I want to hear so at this point, you're in Peru, but somehow you come to Arizona.
That is correct. Yeah.
And so we'll talk about that next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have questions at all, if you have a suggestion for a show for us, all you need to do is email us, Mark. What would that email address be?
It would be production@centergilbert.com. Send memes, questions, whatever you got.
You can keep your memes.
I'll be the judge.
You'll be the judge?
Send the memes just because he said not to.
You know what? I get enough memes from my kids.
Yeah.
So,
This
okay.
is clearly a hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you have anything, let us know. Production@CenterGilbert.com. Tune in next time and you'll hear from Dale Furnish continue.
Thank you, guys.